It's really hard being a pandemic parent during that. Was anybody else pregnant during that period of time? It was hard. It was it's hard to explain to people how bad it was, just because we were in the epicenter, right? It was for us, it was March, April, May, June, right? The epicenter of the pandemic, 2020, right? And we couldn't see our friends, we couldn't see our families. I couldn't go to doctor's visits with my partner, right? We couldn't meet other pregnant couples who were going through the same thing, right? It was really sad, and it was lonely. We didn't have a baby shower, we didn't do a gender reveal because we're not idiots, Gender reveals is so stupid, man. Because it's not even the gender. It's the gender that was assigned at birth, right? Because imagine in 15 years, your kid goes up to you, he's like, Dad, I'm transgender. Oh, what? You mean I accidentally burnt down that forest for nothing? Damn. So anyway, things were incredibly hard in New York, right? And you saw these stories of, bodies being put into freezers and into trucks, and we were constantly worried about getting COVID and the kid getting COVID, and it was just horrible. So we did what we thought made sense. We flew cross country to where her parents live to have the baby. It was a smart thing to do. Unfortunately, where we went, that place was San Diego. And I fucking hate San Diego, man. San Diego fucking sucks. Where, are you from San Diego? Or are we booing San Diego? The problem with boos is that they don't say a lot in terms of the context. Let me explain to you why San Diego sucks, all right? All right. When you ask somebody from San Diego what's great about San Diego, what do they say? Oh, the weather's wonderful, right? The weather's great, right? That's how you know it sucks. That means nothing else is going on. Just talking about the climate? What is that? In New York, we don't talk about the weather. We have a billion things to do and talk about, right? Also, our weather sucks here, so what are we even gonna say? Oh, summers in New York are wonderful. It's 100 degrees and humid, and all the smells from the subway rise to the surface. All the ghosts of fluids past enter your nostrils and make the rent worth it. Luckily, we have a million other things to talk about. And fucking San Diego, people in San Diego don't go to museums unless there's a museum about board shorts. San Diego is an intellectual and cultural void. All it is people at the beach blasting Amber by 311 on repeat. That's all it is. Amber is the color of your energy. What the fuck does that mean, San Diego? My poor child was born there. And one day I'm gonna have to break it to him, because he's gonna have questions. Daddy, how come I struggle to read? You were born in San Diego, son. They're not big fans of the written word there. Daddy, how come people say I have a crappy personality? You were born in San Diego, son. Characters built on hardship. They don't even have rain there. Daddy, is the reason why I'm always kind of tan because I'm from San Diego? No, son, it's because you're half Indian. But the fact you asked me that stupid of a question is because you're from San Diego. The people in the hospital were wonderful. All the doctors and the nurses, all the staff there. I think they were all transplants from other cities, and they were great. On the second day, we met this lactation specialist who taught my partner how to use a breast pump, and she was wonderful. She loved her job so much, maybe a little too much. So at one point, she said, oh my God, I had so much extra breast milk after my last pregnancy, I started putting it in my cereal. That's how you know you've been in the breast milk game a little too long. When you start saying shit like that to civilians, not other people in the breast milk community. There's a big debate amongst parents, how long is too long to breastfeed your child, right? And I think that if your child is able to say, Mother, can I have some of your sweet, sweet breast milk? In a text message, it's probably too long. It's probably too long. Maybe it's time to unlatch. Me and my partner are not married, or as my mother tells her friends and family, we're married. Yeah, she's old school. She's old school about the idea of children out of wedlock. I know she's old school because she used the phrase children out of wedlock. I'm fine with that. Different generation, I understand that. What bothers me is when the government has judgments, right? After we had the kid, I'm in the hospital room, filling out a form, and the question is relationship status, and there's only two options, single and married. Well, I'm not single, we're not married, where's the box for us? Where's the box that says loving, deeply committed relationship, right? No box for that. A lot of missing boxes. No box for that, no box for bad marriage, rando, open relationship where one person is into it way more than the other person. No, just single and married, right? So I reluctantly check single, give it back to the nurse. The nurse gives me another form. It's a proof of paternity form. It's a legal document I have to sign to swear this is actually my child, right? And I found out that married fathers don't have to sign that form because apparently the assumption is they're married, so clearly it's their kid. Give me an example where that's not the case. I don't know, Jesus? That seems to be a notable example. Must have been weird for Joseph to fill out the forms. I mean, okay, so we're married, right? But it was an immaculate conception, so it's God's kid, but we are married, and he is my son, but it's a little complicated. And then the nurse was like, "Oh, is that what she told you?" I know that some people don't like when I talk about Christianity. Why don't you talk about your own religion? How come you can't use your own religion for that joke? You don't think I want to? My God, perfect parallel, Shiva and Parvati, right? And Parvati makes Ganesha out of turmeric and brings him to life. It's perfect, right? But I can't use that example because nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Gotta explain everything. Oh, Ganesha, is that the monkey one? No, it's not the monkey one. Not the monkey one. Gotta explain what turmeric is. This is turmeric. No? Turmeric. Oh, turmeric! Why didn't you say so? I love turmeric. Oh my, I put it in my chai tea. In my tea. And then I say namaste. It's pronounced namaste. Wendy at yoga says namaste, so I don't know. I like how I did so many jokes so far, and this is the one that bothers Brooklyn the most. This is the one that's a little too close to home. So, at a certain point, my partner and the baby, they left the room. I guess they went to get some tests or something, and this doctor walked in, and I was still pissed off about the relationship status question on the form. So I go up to him and I'm like, hey, I think this is bullshit that it just says single and married because I'm neither of those things, but there's no box for me. There is no box for loving, deeply committed relationship. And I don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but I'd like to do something here. And he looked at me, he's like, hey, the government says you're single, so I say you're single. I say you party, man. Wait, you like nurses? I met the only doctor in this hospital from San Diego. Is that what happened? So then he's like, hey, you Indian? Which, whatever follows is not gonna be good, right? I'm like, yes, I'm Indian. He's like, oh, I went to med school with an Indian guy, which is suspect immediately, right? Oh, you went to med school with just one Indian guy? Just one? Just one Indian guy in your med school, just one. Where was the med school? Pakistan? How on earth is that possible? How is that possible? Just one? Just one. So I went to med school with this Indian guy. He's Brahmin. Brahmins are really strict caste. They don't eat meat. They don't drink alcohol. The other castes don't like them. And it's so he's Brahmin. So we went out to dinner. And I offered him some chicken. He's like, oh, I can't eat that. I'm a Brahmin. And I'm like, oh, you're a Brahmin? Well, I'm a tit man. No wonder we're friends. And then he walked out of the room. And to this day, I don't know if this man was actually a doctor. You walk into my room, you tell me to cheat on my partner the day my child is born. You tell me a weird Indian caste joke with a pun, and then you leave. You're like the fucking reverse Patch Adams. Clown pretending to be a doctor.